away from the places, oh God, where you met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Good morning, Unity Church of Raleigh. Let us stand and celebrate today with the first song in our bulletins, just affirming who we are. We're blessed always, amen. Sing with us now. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Amen, oh, amen, amen. One more time. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Last time. Yeah, yeah. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Amen. Say amen. Say amen. Amen.
Well, you may be seated. So in January last month, Florida school teacher Cindy decided to take an art class with a friend. And one night she came home with a painting of a snowy white egret. Now, Cindy's painting of the white seabird was kind of big, it was very colorful, and it was only okay. But her teenage son Matthew loved it. And he snapped a picture of his mom holding the painting, and he posted it to the social media site Reddit with the tagline, "My mom painted this picture, and she said nobody's going to like it. This is her second painting." Well, people liked it. 24,000 people liked it. So much that Swedish artist Christopher, who is famous for his paintings in the video game industry, he painted a picture of Cindy holding her painting of the snowy white egret. And he snapped a selfie and he posted it on Reddit. Cool, right? 2 days later, a Canadian artist painted a picture of the famous Swedish artist Christopher holding the painting of Cindy holding the painting of the snowy white egret. Snapped a selfie, posted it to Reddit. A couple of hours later, Seamus, a Chicago artist, painted a picture of the Canadian artist who painted the picture of the Swedish artist Christopher holding his painting of Cindy holding this painting of the snowy white egret. Now, this went on for days all around the world. People were painting pictures of people holding their paintings, 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 of Cindy holding her painting of the snowy white egret. It reached a point where Cindy's picture holding the egret painting was about this big. It was the size of a postage stamp. Eventually, this is just last month, 1 million people were following this story of this mom who decided to make a change in her life, step out in faith, and try something different, to paint art. And her son, who loved her so much and was so proud of her. Now, I loved this story. A colleague of mine sent it to me, and I just loved it. I thought it was a beautiful story of support and community. And what I loved was how everything just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. And you know, I think that is exactly how Spirit works. When we cooperate with God, life just gets better and better and better. And now, unity principles teach us how to cooperate with God. And it's really pretty simple. All we have to do is decide to let go of those things, thoughts, behaviors, and ways of being that no longer serve us. Those things that just don't feel good anymore and aren't fun. And this is hard, guys, because these are habits. Let go of those things and instead choose to do only those things. Focus on only being healthy. So today we light our Christ candle for Romans 8:31. What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? And we affirm, today I choose good. Today I choose God. So good morning. I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ and in the warm and loving spirit of Unity Church of Raleigh. In unity, we welcome all people and honor the God of your understanding. We bless all churches and spiritual groups throughout the world because we know we are all sons and daughters of the same loving Creator, so we welcome everybody. I'd also like to welcome the folks who are watching us via live streaming. Thank you for being with us. We love and appreciate you too. I am Melanie, your platform leader today, and our musicians are Greg and Nisha, Susan and Alan and Peggy, and our speaker is our beloved senior minister, Rev Bev. A friendly reminder, if you like what you see, do be sure to share and like us with your friends. And so now let's stand and say together our statement of faith, which you can find on the inside front cover of your bulletin. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life and affairs, God the good. Let's walk around the room and say Happy Valentine's Day to each other.
All right, please remain standing. As we sing one of our favorite songs and prayers. Use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I abide as you show me all that I must do.
good. So we always begin our announcements with gratitude. I'm grateful for several things. First of all, we are delivering 101 beautiful new stuffed animals to the Ronald McDonald House. Thank you, everybody, for what you did for these kids who are going through the healing journey. I love that, and that's one of our favorite events. Also, tomorrow is a very special birthday. Joe is turning 90 tomorrow. Congratulations and happy birthday, Joe. A little birdie told me, so be sure to say happy birthday to Joe. Awesome. Today's flowers are unsponsored, and when flowers are not sponsored, we like to give them away to volunteers. And today, I would like to give those flowers to Kevin and Johanna Stouder. Here they are. They're right here. Kevin and Johanna participate in everything. They participate in the youth ed team. They make lasagnas for the lasagna dinner. So Kevin and Johanna, these flowers, after the service, y'all can take them home and enjoy them. They are our symbol of our love for you, and we just thank you for how much you love our community. So thanks for being you for us. So we appreciate you. So why don't we now invite our kids to have a great day in Sunday school. Uniteens go this way with Nancy, and the other kids go this way. So at this time, we would like to welcome any guests we have in our community today. We are so glad that y'all are here, and we love and bless you, and we look forward to getting to know y'all at the hospitality area. So, yay, next Saturday, Hearts and Unity Night. Very exciting. We have all kinds of beautiful homemade lasagnas and desserts. We still would love to sell you some tickets. We are doing great on this. If you would like to buy tickets to the event, see me after the service. It's going to be such fun. We have a DJ. We're going to have music trivia, dress up, dress down, whatever. We're going to have the $1 raffle. We have 24 prizes, 7 of them for kids. So we're going to be offering kiddie tickets for 25 cents, and we'll have 7 bags, raffle bags for the kiddies so that they can participate too. So we're just really excited about this amazing event. Hearts and Unity co-chair Betty Sari is back. Betty, raise your hand. We're so glad you're back. Betty's been on a healing journey, and we are so delighted that she's back and looking fit and whole and wonderful. So anyway, everybody be sure to give Betty a big hug after the service. Of course, after the service, after we sell tickets, after we sign you up for lasagnas, after we sign you up for desserts, and remember, there are prizes for the best lasagna and dessert. The fundraising team will have a meeting across the hall in adult ed just to, dot those last I's and cross those final T's before next Saturday. So it is Super Bowl Sundays at UCR. We are collecting pop tops of soup, ready-to-eat meals, and other foods to deliver in February to the VA food pantry. So let's be sure to bring in our foods. And this is the last Sunday to write these Valentines for our veterans. So just write a little message. It can be "you are loved" or "thank you," and then you just sign Unity Church of Raleigh, and then we deliver them to the VA. And these Valentines, they're the little kinds that we used to get as kids. They'll just sit right there on the food tray, and they'll be taken to these veterans who are in the hospital. And it just brightens their days to get a Valentine and be remembered. So let's do that this week, everybody. Let's see, sticker survey. We decided to leave this up one more week. The lovely Greg is gesturing at the door. Everybody, if you have not done it yet, each month we're surveying you about things that are going on in the church. And this month is, if you were to take a class, what day would you like to take it? Sundays after church, or Wednesday nights, or Saturday mornings, or a weekday? Peggy said midnight. That's when she's got time, from midnight to 2. I understand. I'm a wife. I understand. Anyway, whatever day, put your sticker up, and we'll publish the results in the bulletin. Rev Bev's class meets this Wednesday at 7:30. And last but not least, we have a full chair takedown after the service. So now, why don't we prepare for the peace and refreshment of meditation with Rev Bev by singing the song "In the Silence."
Silence where every And so for a time we enter into that silent place where we feel the presence, the power, the peace, the love, and the glory of God. We know that there is no place we can ever be that God is not. We know that we live, move, and have our being in the pure opulence of God every moment of every day. And so with every breath that we take, we go deeper into our secret place, that place where God is, that place that we enter in peace and stillness and love. And so we do as Jesus taught us. He said, when you go to be with God, close the door on all the outer things. So we close our human eyes that see from our attitudes, our opinions, our beliefs, and our perceptions, so that we might open our spiritual eyes and see from a place of truth and love. And we close our human ears that hear from our attitudes, our opinions, our beliefs, and our perceptions, so that we might open our spiritual ears and hear from a place of wisdom and understanding. And we close our human mouths that speak words from our attitudes, our opinions, our beliefs, and our perceptions, so that we might open our spiritual mouths and speak words that uplift and heal. And we've closed the door on the outer things, on the outer expressions, on the outer experiences of life, the cause and effect of outer things, so that we can be with God. The very nature of our being, that divine presence within. And with each breath we become more still. And we feel the light, love, and wisdom that God is. And we open our hearts and let our light shine, our light of love, our light of compassion, our light of peace and joy, our light of abundance, our light of wholeness. And just feel that light moving through every atom and every cell of your being. Just feel it radiate beyond the boundaries of your bodies into this place. And we begin to feel that divine embrace of spirit, and we become one light. Not many individual lights, but one light. The light of love and wisdom and joy and understanding, opulence and wholeness. And as we fill this room with light, we feel that divine embrace of spirit. Blessing our friends and family that are with us today. Blessing our friends and family who aren't with us today. And blessing our friends and families who haven't found us yet, but will. And just feel that divine embrace. Feel that love. Feel oneness. And feel that peace. As we rest for a time in the silence. In the silence. And if there's someone that you would like to bring into this light, this very peaceful presence that God is here with us, just feel free to speak their names either silently in your mind's eye or you can say them aloud as we bring them into this light of love. Linda, Bob, Kristen, Anthony, Matt, Matthew, Brennan, Abby. And as we speak these names, both silently and aloud, we see the light quicken within each individual. We see the light that is within them, shining brightly in this place. We see no longer the situation, circumstance, or condition. We see light, wholeness, peace, love, joy, oneness. And as we see this light and feel this light moves beyond the boundary of this building, out into this community, this country, and around this earth. So many things are going on this planet right now. That we would like to see beyond the appearances and see and know that point of God expressing, that light shining back to us, that light embracing us, that light that sets us free. And so we see this earth enveloped in light, expressing light, being light, now and always. And then we let it go, knowing that infinite intelligence knows what to do. Omniscient wisdom knows how to do it, and omnipotent love does it very simply, very gently, and very easily. Father, Mother God, we are so grateful for this opportunity to be together, to share together, to celebrate our oneness of spirit together, to feel your presence and your power, to know the truth that sets us free. Now, just take a few deep breaths, and as you do, become aware of your bodies and this place and each other. And when you're ready, just slowly open your eyes, knowing that this is a sacred moment, and this is holy ground. And so it is. Amen and Amen.
Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm going to do a brand new Tim McGraw song this morning. Yeah, just heard this last week before the Super Bowl. And, well, happy Valentine's Day in advance. Now, I don't have any cowboy flip-flops, but I thought, well, I can do this much. This call Thought About You. Saw your mama laughing, talking on the phone, with a little girl working on an ice cream cone, dripping on her shoes. And I thought about you. Saw a spring break Honda hell-bent for Daytona, the boys in the back hiding their Corona like kids do. And I thought about you. Thought about me, I thought about God, everything love is, and everything it's not. I thought about songs that make us feel better, I thought about faith that ties it all together, I thought about now and I thought about forever, I thought about fire and how we walk through it, the times I thought right, the times I blew it, I thought about real, I thought about good, I thought about you, I thought about you. So hungry misspelled on a cardboard sign, and a dirty t-shirt that said Roll Tide. So I gave him a few, and I thought about you. Ran into a buddy, said, boy, how you been? I said, a couple of years. He said, boy, it's been 10. That's what time will do. And I thought about you. I thought about songs that make us feel better. I thought about faith that ties it all together. I thought about now, thought about forever, thought about now, how we walked through it, the times I got it right, the times I blew it, I thought about real, I thought about good, and I thought about you, I thought about you. I thought about you. About God, thought about love and everything it's not. I saw a red balloon somebody just let fly. I watched it getting smaller up in the sky for a minute or two. And I thought about you.
Yeah.
See, I told you the Super Bowl was worth something. Good morning.
Good morning.
Pretty good. Let's try one more time just for the heck of it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here today as we go once again in our roller coaster ride of weather and temperature. We hit 80, I think, this week. And now we're in the 40s or 30s or something. So, it's a good way to learn to go through it rather than be guided and directed by it. Okay. Good object lesson for us. So we've been talking about this 10% challenge in to have a prosperous life. Now, I challenged you to do things that you, or add to things you already do. For example, if you were to increase your meditation time by 10%. And I was talking with somebody the other day. She said that she thought that was kind of malarkey to try that. but she tried it. And what happened was she said, because I had made the comment that, well, within an hour, that's 60 minutes, so your meditation would be 6 minutes long. You've increased your time by 10%, so that's what she did. And she said, I did that, and then I did it for another hour. And then I did another 6 minutes, another hour. And then I did another 6 minutes, another hour. And she said, because it felt good, and my day went so much better because I took the time to take just 6 minutes to think about peace and to think about love and wholeness. So this 10% challenge, even if it's like smiling at one more person or saying hello to somebody you never said hello to before, or taking a little bit of time to work on that forgiveness component that we all have to work on to move through this life and to have things be better. So this is what this challenge is about. And so far we've talked about things like, we talked about desire, and desire is possibility seeking expression. We have the desire that's from the Father. It's that energy that moves us in a direction so that we can unfold our lives in wondrous ways. And then we talked about success, and we said that is the progressive realization of an ideal. And so when we have a desire and we begin to give it energy and we begin to give it form, it begins to manifest in our world. And as it does that, then we can have a whole new experience of our life. We talked about the law of potentiality, and we said that we live and move and have our being in this realm of all potentiality. We can have whatever we want. We can choose whatever we want. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And we can be whatever we want. Kind of reminds me of those old I Love Lucy shows, when she was working in the candy factory. And she had this conveyor belt, and there were all kinds of chocolates going past her. And she would put them in boxes, and she'd put them in her mouth, and she would do all this sort of stuff. And she could pick whatever she wanted. And the thing is, we live in a realm of all potentiality, and we can pick whatever we want to bring into manifestation in our lives and in our world. We just have to think about what we're picking to do that. We talked about the courage to change. Jenny talked about that one Sunday. And it's not easy to change. It's not easy to say, this isn't working. I need to do something different. We tend to hold on to things, especially things that aren't working, and then we keep saying, why isn't it working? And we've got it like this. Why isn't it working? Because we're still holding on to it. And we talked about the law of intention and desire again, that where we form that intention, and we're going to speak more to that today, where we have that intention, where we begin to focus on, what it is that we want to experience. And the more we focus on what we want to experience, the less we experience the things we don't want in our lives. So we're going to look today at two things, and one is the law of karma, which is the law of cause and effect, basically, and thought, and how those two play together in our lives and in our worlds. But first, there was a man who came up to a Baptist pastor and said, "Sir, my dog has passed away, and I was wondering if you could come to my house and have a funeral for him." Well, the pastor wasn't real pleased about that question, and he just kind of had a disgusted look, and he said, "No, I can't do a funeral for a dog." So the man said, "Oh, well, that's too bad. I was thinking about making a $5,000 donation to your church." And the pastor turned around and smiles and said, "Why didn't you tell me your dog was Baptist?" That should have been a warning, I can tell. Okay, so today let's talk about the law of karma, which is the law of cause and effect, and thought. How does our thought play into that experience? And so let me begin by giving you a quote from Swami Vivekananda. It says that every action generates a force of energy that returns to us in like kind. And we talk about that as thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, our law of mind action. What we sow is what we reap. And when we choose actions that bring happiness and success to others, the fruit of our karma is happiness and success. Karma is the external assertion of human freedom. Our thoughts, our words, and deeds are the threads of the net which we throw around ourselves. Okay? And that's an important statement. It is our thoughts, our words, and deeds are the threads of the net which we throw around ourselves. So karma is both action and the consequence of that action. And that can be positive or negative. What nets are we throwing around ourselves? What are we weaving into our life and into our experience? When we understand that we are weaving our life and our experience, then we begin to see that it's important that we start making choices that are for the highest good of ourselves and everyone in our world. Here's what Deepak Chopra says about that. You and I are essentially infinite choice makers. In every moment of our existence, we are in the field of all possibilities where we have access to an infinity of choices. Some of these choices are made consciously, while others are made unconsciously. But the best way to understand and maximize the use of karmic law is to become consciously aware of the choices made every moment. Most of our choices that we make are more, I don't want to say this, they're more reflexes. We're patterned to react a certain way in certain situations. And sometimes, it's so habitual that we don't even know that we're doing it. And so this whole idea of cause and effect says, stop and think about the consequences of your choices. Think about what you're thinking about. How often do we think about what we're thinking about? Not very often. I don't remember whether I said this on a Sunday or in class, so if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But I have a friend who, I got into his car, and the steering wheel was bent. Okay? It was like this. It wasn't round and in front of you. It was off to the side. And I asked about that, and he said, I don't pay attention to what I'm thinking about, and I spend a lot of time being angry. And in that anger, I finally, that I didn't know I was doing it, but I moved the steering wheel. How often do we drive down the road with that tenseness, and we don't know that we're doing that? And if we stop long enough to think about what we're thinking, then we begin to realize that we're spending a lot of our time being unhappy or being angry or being fearful. And those are more reactive thoughts. Those are more reactive actions that we want to start paying more attention to so we can change that pattern. We can change that form. Deepak Chopra goes on and he says, most of us, as a result of conditioning, have repetitions and predictable responses to the stimuli in our environment. Our reactions seem to be automatically triggered by people and circumstances, and we forget that these are still choices that we are making in every moment of our existence. We're simply making the choices unconsciously. How many of you have ever had that experience where you have been reactive to somebody? They said something. I remember years ago going into a McDonald's, and I was there with a friend, and we were in line, and it was our turn, and somebody came from over here and just started giving their order. That did not work well for me. I was very reactive to that. And I started yelling at McDonald's over the fact that this woman had interfered and come in way, okay? And that was pretty much a typical reaction that I had to lots of things, and it was just very reactive. It was like feeling like I was being taken advantage of, and I wasn't going to have it anymore. Now, how far do you think that got me? Not very far. Because I was being reactive and trying to deal with it in a reactive kind of way, and so that pattern kept repeating itself until one day I finally said, this isn't working for me anymore. I've got to come up with a different way. And so when we stop and we look at our repetitive patterns and the things that we do over and over and over again, and sometimes in my case it was self-righteous indignation, That was just an attitude that needed to get adjusted on my part. But we do those things, and sometimes it's time for us to look at that. Our thought is the only power that can produce tangible results from formless substance. Okay, let me repeat that. Thought is the only power that can produce tangible results from formless substance. So we begin to realize how powerful our thoughts are. Our thoughts are the most powerful thing that we have because we are the link. We talked about this last week. We are the link between a thought and a thing. And as we form our thoughts, as we form our reactions to events, and I don't know about you, but I spend a little bit of time revisiting things that happened during the course of the day. And sometimes I revisit them with an anger or a frustration. But we're the link between a thought and a thing, and we have the ability to choose the thoughts that we think. We have the ability to think from a higher place. We have the ability to change our behavior so that it changes our world. No thought of form can be impressed upon this realm of all potentiality without causing the creation of the form. Okay, there's nothing in this world that we see that wasn't a thought somewhere along the way. And as we begin to realize that the thought brought this into being, and we realize that we have the ability to do the same thing, what are we bringing into being? Now we go back to Genesis, and we know that there was God, and there was nothing, or this formless all potentiality. And nothing happened until God did what? Spoke. Until God, this energy, said, let there be. And there was. And then God said, it is good. Okay. We're in that same position. We were given power and dominion over our world, over our experience. And so when we know that our thought and our word bring into manifestation the forms that we see, what are we choosing to experience and express? And it is our choice. And again, it can be habitual or it can be something new. To think what you want to think is to think truth regardless of appearances. To think according to appearances is easy. It's easy to get on a bandwagon about something. It's easy to see something happening without knowing the background or the story and have an opinion and reaction to it. That's easy. To think truth regardless of appearances, not so much. To think that I live in an abundant, opulent universe in the midst of seeing poverty, not so easy. To think that I am innate wholeness and to experience something less than that wholeness, not that easy. So it becomes a choice, and we realize that we have that presence and that power within us, that we can make choices about anything that we want to, that we can change our world and our universe simply by thinking. We think into this experience something greater. We think into this experience something more complete and more whole. And that's our choice. So, I would suggest and make this recommendation to us. We know that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. We know that we are choice makers. We know that we can choose consciously or just be unconsciously reactive. I would suggest this week as part of your 10% challenge that when you find yourself being reactive in an old way, when you find yourself experiencing an old pattern again, that you stop for a minute and you think about it and make a different choice. Begin to form that thought in that realm of all potentiality so that you can experience what you truly want. And as we do that, not only do we bless our world, but we bless everyone and everything in our world. God bless you. Amen.
I'm going to bring Susan to the forefront here. 2 brand new hips. You'd never know. Wouldn't you? Look at this.
Good morning. Elvis Costello. 3, 4. As I walk on the whole time, something like darkness, insanity, ask myself, is all hope lost? Is there only pain and hatred and misery? Each time I feel like this inside, there's one thing I want to know. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? I walk on through troubled times, my spirit gets so downhearted sometimes. So where are the strong? And who are the trusted? Where is the harmony, sweet harmony? 'Cause each time I feel it slipping away, it just makes me wanna cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? So where are the strong? Who are the trusted? Where is the harmony, sweet harmony? 'Cause each time I see it slip away, it just makes me wanna cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Peggy, you're dynamite.
Oh, thank you.
You are dynamite. Thank you. Let's prepare now for our offering by singing I See Abundance Everywhere.
I see abundance everywhere. God rich and long everywhere. Showers to use and to endure. His gives to us without law. Prosperity, prosperity. I know my own has come to me. God sends His children joy, peace, and health and wisdom and increase. And we are grateful for His grace.
And in just a moment, our ushers will be receiving our offering. But before they do, as always, I like to give thanks for all the good that is here at Unity Church of Raleigh. I give thanks for the folks that are part of our fundraising committee and all the stuff that Betty and Ken and all of you do. Thank you so much for that, because I know that next Saturday night's going to be a glorious, wonderful evening. And thank all of you that bring in your cans of soup or your stuffed animals or all the acts of kindness that this church does. I'm so grateful to you for that. And I'm grateful that we're here and we're celebrating together and we can look at whatever the weather's going to be and say, oh, well, that's okay, because I'm here in this peaceful place of spirit. So let's take our offerings in our hands and bless them as gifts of divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am and all that I have and all that I give and receive. Together, please. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am and have and all that I give and receive. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
So as I was preparing for music this month, I found that Mavis Staple of the Staple Singers. Remember that group, the Staple Singers? She is still rocking, you guys. So I've been singing her new stuff these past couple Sundays, and so we're getting ready to do another one. And I'm also rocking my fro because it took me 55 years to get one. Yay! When I was a kid at 12, all I wanted was an afro, and I just couldn't get it to work. So how about now? Just be patient and wait on it. It will come. Thank you for allowing me to celebrate this month. We're going to rock out. Yeah, come on, y'all. No time for crying, no time for tears, no time for crying, no time for tears. Come on. We've got work to do. 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 People are dying, bullets are flying. We've got work to do. We've got work to do now. No time for tears. No time for tears. Come on. We've got work to do. We've got work to do, y'all. Say we've got work to do. We've got work to do now. say inside job. No. Gotta be the change. Gotta be the change, y'all. Be the change. Yeah. Be the change now. 'Cause we've got work to do. We've got work to do now. We've got work to do. Yeah, we got work to do now. Are you with me? Need to know. Are you with me? Then come on. I said, come on.
What we gotta do?
We got work to do. We've got work to do now. Work to do. Oh. Work to do. All right.
Hey!
Woo-hoo. Yeah.
Yes.
My. I think you folks need to work on bringing out energy and sharing it with us. This conservative way of doing things, just, you know. Father, Mother God, we are grateful for these gifts that enter this ministry, blessing and prospering this place. We bless the gift and the giver, and boy, that just messed me up. We bless the gift and the giver, knowing that they are one and the same and all one with you. We thank you, Father, Mother God, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Amen.
And amen.
Amen. Amen.
Just rocked my
Work to
brain.
do, it's all
Rocked
good.
my brain.
Spirit flow.
Okay, let's stand and welcome our kids back by singing "We Are Walking in the Light." They'll be back. They'll be back.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. In the light, in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God.
Did Nancy go off with other? We got more kids. We are walking more light.
We are walking in the love, in the love, in the love. We are walking in the love of God. In the love, in the love, in the love, in the love. We are walking in the love of God. Love in the love, in the love, in the love. We are walking in the love of God.
Okay, we got everybody now? Yes. See, you're as fried as I am after that last song. I keep seeing doors opening and people are appearing and the Holy Ghost just showed up and I don't know what's going on. You guys have a good time today? Do great things? Oh, even better. Great. That is a great thing. Let's bless our kids. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. Together, please. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. And we behold the Christ and love and appreciate all of you also. Thank you for being with us today. Reminders that Wednesday night is class. That next Saturday night, be here. Be here. It's going to be a wonderful evening. Be right here for a really big show. I've lived with you too long now. Be here. We're going to have a great lasagna evening, dancing and games and all kinds of fun stuff. And with that, let's remember that.
Sure, the light of God surrounds us all, all right? Everybody, surround us all.
The love of God enfold us. The power of God protects us.
The power of God protects us.
The presence of God watches over us.
The presence of God watches over us.
And Wherever we are, God is.
Wherever we are, God is.
And all is well.
And all is
And now let's join hands and sing, Yes, There Is Peace.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was made to be. And God has freedom, united on a wing. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyful hour. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Father, Mother God, how grateful we are to know that we are the link between a thought and a thing, that we have the right, the freedom, the privilege to choose thoughts that are for the highest good of not only ourselves, but everyone in our world. We thank you that we have this ability. We thank you that we are becoming more conscious of our thinking and transforming our world. And so it is. Namaste.
Namaste.
No time for crying, no time for tears, no time for crying, no time for tears. We got work to do. We've got work to do now. We've got work to do.